And welcome to another Mark Bishop Show. Workforce challenges, they persist in the race to adopt generative AI. We're going to find out in this episode why business leaders face AI adoption challenges and how they can secure employee buy-in, because without them, nothing. Salima Lin is the managing partner for strategy, M&A, transformation and thought leadership, IBM Consulting. She'll be my special guest in just a moment. I want to explain to you that generative AI is a transformative force for businesses, and it opens up more possibilities for innovation. To unlock its full potential, the buy-in from employees will be critical. A new IBM Institute for Business Value study reveals that CEOs are facing workforce and culture challenges as they act quickly to implement and scale generative AI across their organizations. So, without further ado, Salima Lin, IBM Consulting, welcome.
Thank you.
So, Salima, why are CEOs rushing to implement generative AI across their organization? And how are businesses using generative AI today?
Absolutely. So yes, they are rushing to use generative AI across their organizations. And if I were to just simplify that into maybe just one sentence, it's because they want to win, right? They want customers to choose their products and services over competitors. They want to be the company that attracts the best talent. They want to deliver profits to their investors. And they believe that generative AI is essential for them to stand apart from their competitors and win the hearts and minds and wallets of their customers and shareholders. And I think, Mark, there are three main reasons why they're rushing to use generative AI, why they see this huge potential, why it's so transformative. The first is around productivity, right? It's changing the way we work. Our work through the Institute for Business Value shows that their productivity improvements are in the range 30 to 80%, depending on the use cases an organization decides to choose. So in effect, it gives us more time to focus on higher level tasks as generative AI focuses on more repetitive ones. But beyond productivity, there are two other reasons that I would call out. The second is that it really changes how how companies engage with their customers. So it allows them to provide responses to customer questions a lot more quickly, much more accurately. And I think the best part of it is it's much more personalized to that individual. And finally, the third reason that they're rushing is that it's creating new digital products and services. So there is an opportunity to create new revenue in ways that, they weren't able to do in the past.
Well, you mentioned also service and, response and quicker response, this and that. It's ironic because I was speaking with a friend yesterday and he was sharing with me that just about everybody he knows has had enough of automation, phone calls. Me too. I just want to speak to somebody live and get served or quickly served. So AI may be doing something, quite frankly, that, humans won't do. 64% of CEOs say succeeding with generative AI will depend more on people's adoption than the technology itself. However, 61% say that they're pushing their organization to adopt generative AI more quickly than some people are comfortable with. And a final stat is 64% say their organization must take advantage of technologies that are changing faster than people can adapt. So, this has come out of this whole new value study that's been done. So what's going on, Salima?
So it's interesting the conversation you had with your friend. And, we hear that a lot from many folks, right? And I think the trick here or the art here is that it's not just about generative AI or just about people. It's about both, right? And companies that do it right are able to couple the use of the technology and what the technology is able to do with the skill sets that people bring to bear. And so generative AI, at least today, and it'll change, right? It's changing every day. It's going to change over the next weeks and months and years ahead of us. But today, it handles more of the repetitive tasks. And honestly, like I would much rather get my password reset if I had a computer issue really quickly and now versus having to wait 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes for someone to tell me how to reset my password. However, if I had a query about, how do I think about the raise I want to give to someone on my team? In that case, I want to talk to a human being. And so managing across the human and the digital labor, that's an art. And I think over time, we'll see companies get much, much better at that.
So,
to the second point. Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
No, shoot, go.
Okay, so you had mentioned about the challenges, right, around adopting AI. And I was just going to just reinforce what you said. And I actually think it's a little bit funny, but generative AI is a technology, but the challenges are uniquely human, which I always think of as sort of a paradox. But many of the challenges revolve around people and their adoption of the technology rather than the tech itself. So just, confirming what you said, absolutely correct.
Well, I was going to say, Salima, that it would seem that this is a make or break moment for business leaders to shepherd their organizations into the future. But, with the right people and the right culture in place, there'll be little impact. Is this part of the challenge that the CEOs face when it comes to AI adoption? And how should business leaders, do you think, approach workforce culture challenges as they accelerate this AI adoption? What's it going to take,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So a couple things I would say. If we think about the impact that it's going to have on jobs, as you point out, imagine this for a moment, Mark. Imagine that 5% of jobs are newly created and 5% go away. That leaves 90% in the middle that will be transformed. And so 2 things here. Incumbent on you and me and everyone else that's listening, we need to ask ourselves, right? In the world of AI, would my company hire me again? And if the answer is no, then now is the time for you to start thinking about the skills that you need to be successful. And not just for today, but for tomorrow. And think about not just technology skills, but creativity, design, ethics, communication, the ability to ask the right questions. Because while some skills will not be important for people anymore because they'll be so embedded in the AI assistant, other skill sets like creativity, as I mentioned, design, become even more important. And so that's incumbent on you and I, to make sure that if we're not already experimenting with generative AI, that we get comfortable with its capabilities, because generative AI won't replace people, but people who use generative AI will replace people who don't.
Right.
Now, at the same time, it's incumbent on companies to make sure they're understanding the skills profile in their companies and taking the responsibility to upgrade the skills and reskill their people so that they are ready for the advancements that come along with this technology.
Yeah, it's like anything new, isn't it? People sort of, the old heckles on the back of the neck come up and, I don't know, the culture thing. The irony of this stuff is that it's going to help you more. Just open arms and accept.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just learn to adapt, it seems to me, Now, look, folks, I always say this. If you like a cup of joe and you're in your podgies, your pajamas, go to IBM.com, IBM.com/IBV. All right, /IBV. There's a lot of info. You can read into this at your leisure and your comfort. It's fascinating, really, because there's a lot going on. Salima Lin is the managing partner, strategy. What's M&A, Salima? What's that?
Mergers and acquisitions.
Oh, of course. Mergers and acquisitions, dummy.
Yep.
Transformation and thought leadership. Bit of a brain, huh? With IBM Consulting. So thank you for the work that you do. You explain it a lot better to us. People like you are making it easier to accept. So thank you, Salima.
Thank you.
There we go, folks. Lovely. Salima Lynn, Managing Partner Strategy, Merger and Acquisitions, Transformation, and Thought Leadership, IBM Consulting. In today's episode of The Mark Bishop Show, we'll be back with another soon.